at which I was invited, and I told him I'd go to him hard to say good partnership because they don't invite me to these things. But I turned up with Council Chase Reed and Ian Andrews, I couldn't find anybody else. To start, what you see in the papers is a public awareness program. Since 2007 it was signed, and somebody should ask those two gentlemen, most honorable gentlemen, Bishop, one Ejel, I don't want to respect another, they want to respect. Bishop, Minister, Ejel, and Norman Whitaker, who pontificated. They must explain to us why, since February of 2007, when the contract was signed, not by us, but by the government, this important component, and in fact the IDB described it as crucial to the success of the solid waste program, was not put in place. So they have about it, but we know this real story. It's not a real story. The real story is that somebody wake up like Rip Van Winkle. The money, whatever is left, expires in August this year. So they got to hurry up, or chase down, and up to now, I don't know whether the town clerk or the public relations department have been consulted about what this program for the Georgetown Solid Waste Project should be. So what we're going to have, we're going to leave go Guy Enterprise to struggle with what money they have to put in place the program. Have the schools been contacted? Have the churches been contacted? The mosques, the temples? Because solid waste involves everybody. Have we set aside a day to ask the Christian community, the Hindu community, to talk to the people about how they care the environment? No. We're going to spend the money in the usual inappropriate way because it expires in August. As I told my most honorable bishop, and the sad thing is, I brought the gentleman to public life of politics. I apologize to myself for that. He's not the only one I brought it. For me to work with me. So I plead guilty. Joe Hamilton. All the Joe Hamilton had his birth here. So I shall go to my maker and apologize for such bad choices. You all stop calling names. So that they must explain why only now, when the money expires in August of this year, they have to put in place a show. What can they do between now and August that we have been pleading for since 2007? The public needs to know these things. Because what I'm saying here, and I know there, Chairman here can't publish it because the report is going to be dismissed on 28th. Because they're working with the government on these things. I want to say this, that this year must be the watershed year. I'm dealing with all citizens, and that's why we have this conference, this public session, to understand what is happening and share with us the challenges to deal with these matters. I want to say this, that public awareness program is important. Remember that BK International signed a contract in 2009. And after long delays, for reasons which I will not mention, it was opened. We got, I think, a few days' notice. And the officers, not the mayor, but the top guy can't argue with them for reasons that are not, well, I don't know why. The bureaucrats are not supposed to argue on sensitive political issue. But I said on Tuesday, had I been there, I would have told the ministers that non-negotiable that we expand the opening time of the HVAC because of the reality of the city. And secondly, he couldn't tell me with a straight face, we don't have money. Look at the next papers. This government knows where to find money. But in any case, when the environmental fund was established, it was established to take care of environmental problems. And nobody knows where those millions of communities every day, who is spending that money and where it goes. So he could tell me that nonsense that he's supposed to pull it up and she's supposed to agree we don't have money. I mentioned that to say that this day I am peaceful, as you notice. Very peaceful. And I want to ask you to go with us as we seek a new opportunity to save the city and make it with help of everybody. The Chinese have helped, other people are coming that we want to save here. I promise you I'll make a comment on Fenty's article today. First, I am prepared to work with the devil himself to save the city and to let my good friend Alan Fenty. I like Alan because I like God. That my response to this article is that I don't know what surrender means. For me, there is no surrender until I can be part of an effort to save the city. No surrender. And in spite of having passed my quarter century in years, I've had no very serious complaints. I want to continue to give of my mental and physical energies to save the city with your help, your love, and your cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Because we are running ahead of time, we will allow 5 questions and 2 suggestions coming from members of the audience, because we are really running ahead of time, and I know that some of you have certain challenges when it comes to having your meetings. So just indicate by raising your hands. We probably want to give the media a chance first, and then we'll take other people's side. Yes, go ahead, please. Quickly. Could you use the microphone that is closest to you, please? Thank you very much. See if you can try the next one.
Right, that's good. In yesterday's paper, there was a letter by Mr. Sohan concerning the agreement made by the City Council to give, I think it was Savon's Waste Management, a portion of land in the Mandela area for them to store garbage and then to take it to a pre-selected location afterwards. Now, he suggested that at this point in time, the City Council is not in a position to undertake the work of that kind of work with garbage trucks, with disposal. He said that it is probably a better, more cost effective to give the contracts to these contractors, Savons and the others, so that the City Council could probably save a whole lot of money. Now, what does the city council say to such a suggestion? Since you see that it's probably, because of the competition that exists in the waste disposal sector, there's probably a more feasible idea or plan for the city council to contract this activity to the garbage disposal. What does the city council say to this suggestion?
I have the highest regard for Charlie Sohan as an engineer who worked with me, very enthusiastic. But I think reading his letter is confusing the concept of a recycling facility with a transfer facility. What council approved as a result of Siobhan's recommendation is a recycling facility. That is to take the garbage and so that at the end of the process you have less material to take to make garbage. And in fact, I have no doubt that what Sevens will do is also partly employ some people we call as equippers. And his exercise has to be supported by the same public awareness program where people will be told what to put in what color garbage bags, and they will make it compulsory for each household to have an appropriate receptacle so that you don't put bottles with food, with plantain skin and fruits, and dead cats in the same bag. So I think Sohan may not have read carefully. And perhaps another time we can ask Sevens to make a public presentation and invite Mr. Sohan and other engineers to present, because I myself am not expert in this area, and my response is based on my understanding, my layman's understanding.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. To add to that, the recycling plan by Sevens, as well as a waste-to-energy arrangement, as well as a transfer station. Transfer station is different from a holding site. And I agree with him that we probably need another session to discuss this matter. Next person? Yes, sorry. Let's take the lady again. Go ahead. Please use the microphone closest. Then we'll take this gentleman, then we'll take Mr. King, then we'll take this gentleman, then we'll take that lady. Go ahead.
the landfill for a longer period of time. I was just wondering how would that happen and how would the revenue be used in that matter, if you
I didn't want to carry on too long, but we had a proposal from a group I met on one of my visits with said that they had equipment in the Middle East and they can bring that equipment to the Repertorian dump site. We don't like to talk about Mandela. Mandela's name. The Repertorian dump site. To put it down to generate electricity, and they said in their proposal that they will supply the people who live nearby electricity at a special rate, because those people are suffering as a result of the smoke for years. We got no reply from the government. But when there was the opening of the rehabilitated Kitty Pump Station, I raised the question in the presence of His Excellency the President. Then he replied, only then, that they had looked at it, and I don't say the President's lie, I disregard the words of the President. But President Jagdo said in the record that they had looked at our proposal, but the cost of electricity generated at the site by this equipment, which would have cost us nothing to bring in, would have been too high But in any case, his exact words, the government was concentrated on hydropower. Now they can't even finish the road. And I made the point then that once the facility was exhausted and we put the electricity in the national grid, that was it, but GPL couldn't respond unless government replied. This is another effort by the government to make this council unviable. By set to Fenty, and I say to you, no surrender.
Yeah, we take the other question and then the other question.
So, good afternoon, everybody. I guess everyone in this house are religious persons in some form. Mr. Golden said that cleanliness is next to godliness. I'm 65 years old. Country's capital becoming from a golden city to garbage city. They say money is the root of all evil. We have less money in the time of I growing up as a youth in this country. I had the opportunity as a member of UNAP, the Human Rights Association in this country, where a delegation was led by Mr. Trotman. We went to a Millennium Development Goal program where people from all the world attended. One of the chief things they needed for the Millennium Development Goal is 8 goals. One is the environment. They say money is the root of all evil. My country have more resources than people. They have more money today than I have been hearing about growing up as a kid. And our city was clean. This is an inhuman action happening in this country, and people trying to make each other look bad, even though they got a heart in the chest and supposed to be valued. There should be more young people here to understand what he's trying to say. He might be there, but if we truly love the country, we can see and stop our civil rights and human rights violation in this country by some neo-colonialists. When I was a little boy, I didn't understand when they said what neo-colonialists. But as I grew, I was a school dropout. But I educate myself through different means. All the world, I've been from New York right down South New Orleans, all over the Caribbean, through the grace of God. And I know we have a country, we've got less than 1 million people, more residing in the age of 16. And what happened in this country is wickedness, and people that will stand up for civil rights and human rights.
Thank you very much for that comment. Who was the next person?
Mr. Mayor and your staff, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak here today. My name is, I'm Dr. Rudy Guian, and we're from the 1823 Monument Committee or Coalition. But I'm not speaking about the monument. I'm offer that we were given by the Chinese embassy or from China. Anyone doing anything, do it in his or her self-interest. And we, when we negotiating, I think we should negotiate in our self-interest. Our country has a beautiful, fertile earth, and we have abundance of trees. I would have felt that if we negotiating, we would take that into account and realize we need employment, and we should have negotiated for nurseries, financing of nurseries around Guyana, where we would have planted our trees, employed our people, so as to generate the currency that we want. So in future, I'm not putting on anybody on this occasion, but I think in future, think about ourselves, think about our needs, because when things are given to us, it isn't given to our benefit, it isn't given to our needs, it's given for a PR for the giver. So we must think about ourselves in future when we're doing things. Thank you very much.